Hello, I'm Robin Da Vinci, and I'm here to discuss budgeting for beginners. I have been in the business for 40 years, and I've worked with high net worth people, and I've worked with small businesses and individuals who are looking to figure out how to make more money, budget their money, spend more wisely. So I've got a lot of experience here, and I'd like to pass it on to you. When you're budgeting, people say, why do I need to budget? I spend what I spend. Why do I need to budget? Why do I need to care about that? Well, budgeting usually doesn't work for the very wealthy. Wealthy people spend, they watch their money, but they don't really have a budget because they're not really worried about it. But budgets are for people who have a tight money situation, or literally someone who might be losing their job, people who could be laid off in the future because they're seasonal workers, things like that. We need budgets for almost everything. Companies work very hard to make very practical budgets. And when I say wealthy people don't budget, that doesn't mean they don't know where their money goes. It's that they don't have that same worry that the rest of us have, that we won't have enough if our situation changes. So the average person needs to have a very clear budget. And here's the way you would make your basic budget. You take your housing costs. Housing costs equal rent or mortgage, utilities, insurance, maintenance, HOA dues if you have a condominium, things like that. So those are house costs. Then you take your automobile costs and you list those out. So that's your car payment, your car insurance, your gasoline, and build in some maintenance for your car washes, detailing, new tires. I mean, when you do a budget, you need to go look. So what I suggest is when you're doing your budget, first you do your house or your apartment. You actually sit down or look around or walk around and you make a list of the items that are house costs. Then you go, and if you have to, go sit in your car and say, okay, let me look at my tires. Do I need an oil change this year? Usually budgets go from year to year and then they are done monthly. So you sit in your car and you look at your car and you say, do I need tires this year? When are my oil changes? Am I going to need a new battery? How old is my car? What is my DMV fee for this car? And those kind of things. Then you get that list. And then you go through, what is my entertainment list? And you say, well, I'd like to go out to dinner once a week. I need this and I need this for entertainment, and I need wardrobe ideas. I'll need new shoes. I need a new briefcase, those kind of things. And then you do a miscellaneous category. So you do 4 categories, and that would be your housing costs, your auto costs, your entertainment costs, and you can have, let's say, your work costs. Let's say you have your own business. Most people don't run their own company, but if you are an independent contractor, list all of those costs. What are my estimated taxes, my insurance, my office supplies, those kind of things. Get those categories. And if it freaks you out to have 12 categories, move it down to 8 categories. But make sure you've covered all of those different places, all those different categories, all of those different needs. And then you add them up for the month. You go by month, and then you divide that by 30, and you can see what your daily budget is. I need to make $375 a day to cover all of this, or I need to make $800 a day, or I'm going to take a yearly budget and divide by 12 and then divide by 30 if you want to go further out. So you can take your monthly budget and divide by 12 and then divide by 52. So I'm going to give you a couple of ways. This is really important. You can make a monthly budget. That would mean taking those categories, getting that number and dividing by 30 and seeing what it costs you every day to wake up and manage your life. You can take a monthly budget and multiply by 12 and say, this is my annual budget. My annual budget is $65,000. My annual budget is $100,000. And then you say, yeah, but what do I need per week? Or I get paid every other week. So let me compare what I'm making to what I'm budgeting. So a lot of times your best bet is to say, if you get paid monthly, have a monthly budget. If you get paid semi-monthly, have a semi-monthly budget. If you get paid bi-weekly, weekly, which means every other week. Have a bi-weekly budget. If you get paid weekly, have a weekly budget. And that means get that in there and make sure you know what you are making versus what you are spending. And remember, in those costs are credit card payments. How much am I making on credit card payments? And how much interest am I paying? Because interest is part of an expense that you have every month. Then you look at your bank and you say, if I have an overdraft, what is it costing me? If I have a mortgage, let me separate it out by, am I paying principal and interest, or is this just interest? And then look at your paperwork. When is your car note over? When is your lease up? When is your mortgage requiring a balloon payment? When will you need to refinance? All of these things are part of your financial picture that probably you're getting up every day, racing to work, getting your kids to school, running your business. You might be up at 5 a.m. running your business all day, and you're just too tired to look at how you're spending and what you're making. A lot of people avoid it. I know it's a big avoidance. Everybody does it. They kind of put their hands over their eyes and plug their ears and say, I just don't want to hear this. I just don't want to know this. You also have to build in doctor appointments and visits like that and co-pays. You need to understand what it is you're bringing home and what it is you're spending. And it's really not very complicated. It's just uncomfortable. And I use this with my students when I coach them about money literacy. I say to them, when you're having an emotional issue with money, you need to stop for a moment and do a checkup from the neck up. And you need to go, what am I doing logically with my money? Am I saying, well, I don't have any money, but I'm getting a mani-pedi every other week? Am I coloring my hair for $200 a month? I have to tell you, in semi-retirement, you cut those things out. I don't color my hair. I don't get mani-pedis maybe once every 3 months. I do a lot of the stuff myself because those things add up. When we're talking about budgets, we have to say to ourselves, we need to stay unemotional. This is not about emotion. Remember, budgets are not about what you deserve. Budgets are about what you're currently doing. It's to match up what you might think you deserve with what you can really afford. And if we don't do that, then we're irresponsible. And I care enough about the human race to try and make the human race responsible. The human race needs to be responsible about money spending. All of these things that we did in the past that hurt us financially, we need to own up to them and not do them again. It's very serious. Emotional spending versus budgeting. When you budget and you take the emotion out of it and you're doing that checkup from the neck up, I love whoever made that saying up because I use it a lot. When you're doing a checkup from the neck up, you have to remove the emotion. And if you're doing a budget with your partner, you need to have an agreement in advance that you will not become emotionally involved with the numbers. You will state them as facts. You will ask opinions as facts. You will get facts. You want facts when you make a budget. You don't want to say, well, you went out with your friends and you spent $200 on a night out. My pedicure, manicure only costs $85. You don't want to start getting into a battle of emotions and what people deserve. This is not about what you deserve. Every single person watching this video and anybody you share it with deserves to have lovely, wonderful things in their lives, deserves to not have to worry about money, deserves things. We're not talking about what we deserve or what we want. We're talking about making a budget for what we need and what we can afford. And I know there's a tug there. The emotional triggers do not help us make solid decisions. So remember, put your budget into 5 categories: housing, auto, entertainment, medical, and miscellaneous. And get those categories, some subcategories. Put down what you actually spend or what you actually need. And then after this budget of expenses is made, sit down and look at your income, because now your income will become more real. When you see your budget money going out the door, then you'll see what income is coming in the door, and it makes it more real. Every single one of you watching this video, make it more real. I'm going to talk with my producer and see if we need to make a budget template for you that we can make available, because I think that will help you get started. Everybody needs that good start, that budget template, that idea of what should be on there. And I would be happy to do that. So once this video gets out and once I have a like and subscribe and you watch my videos, I'm all about money literacy and money competency, emotional triggers surrounding money, and how to combat that. So please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching, and start budgeting. Find that inner bookkeeper. You can do it.